There is a village in western Ukraine that doesn't appear on any official map. You can find the road if you drive far enough into the Carpathians, past the broken asphalt, past the wooden crosses on the roadside, past the last gas station where the clerk refuses to look you in the eyes when you ask, "Is there anything beyond this point?" They always answer the same way. There used to be. The village is called Verkhovina Lisna. At least, that's what the old bus stop sign says. Half the letters are gone. The rest are carved deeper, as if someone didn't want the name to fade. I went there in late November, when the first real snow sealed the mountains in silence. I wasn't looking for ghosts. I was looking for my grandmother's house. She left it to me in her will with a single handwritten note. "Do not sleep in the front room." That was it. No explanation. No key. Just an address that technically didn't exist. The house stood at the very edge of the village, closest to the forest. The windows were dark. The roof sagged slightly under the weight of snow. The well beside it was frozen over. The door was unlocked. Inside, everything looked preserved. The embroidered rushniki hung over the icons. The stove smelled faintly of ash. A kettle sat on the table, as if someone had left moments ago. But the silence felt wrong. Not empty. Listening. And then I noticed something strange. There were footprints in the dust. Barefoot, leading toward the front room. The front room door was closed. That alone was strange. The rest of the house felt abandoned, but this door looked maintained. The wood wasn't warped. The handle wasn't rusted. Someone had cleaned around it. I stood there for a long time. In the village, old houses have stories. My grandmother used to tell me about mavkas in the forest, about spirits that live between trees and were the faces of women who drowned. About domovyk, house spirits that protect you, unless you disrespect them. I told myself that was all it was. Folklore. Still, I didn't open the door. Instead, I walked to the kitchen and lit a candle. The electricity didn't work. The mountains swallowed signal too. No internet, no reception. Night fell quickly. By 5 p.m., the windows were mirrors. I ate dry bread and cheese and told myself I would leave in the morning. That's when I heard it. A soft knock. From inside the front room. Not loud. Not aggressive. Just 3 slow taps. As if someone inside was asking politely to be let out. I didn't sleep. The knocking stopped after midnight, but something replaced it. Breathing. Slow. Measured. Coming from the other side of the wall. The stove had gone cold. The air felt heavy. My breath fogged in front of me. At 2:17 a.m., the front room door handle moved. Just slightly. Then stopped. I wanted to convince myself it was wood shifting in the cold. But wood doesn't twist metal. At 3:03 a.m., I heard something else. My grandmother's voice. Whispering my name. Not from memory. Not from inside my head. From the front room. "Don't make me wait." That's when I realized something terrifying. The footprints in the dust weren't going toward the door. They were coming from it. By morning, I convinced myself I imagined everything. The mountains have pressure. Silence can distort the mind. That's what I told myself while standing in the kitchen, staring at the front room door. It was slightly open. Just a few centimeters. I was certain I had left it closed. Inside, the room looked untouched. A wooden bed. A wardrobe. An icon of St. Nicholas. A mirror covered with cloth. But the air felt warmer here. Wrongly warm. And in the center of the room, ashes. A small circle of them. Like something had burned without flame. I stepped closer. The mirror cloth fell. Not slipped. Fell. As if someone inside had pulled it down. My reflection stared back at me. Except it blinked slower. My grandmother used to speak about the domovyk. She said every house has one. It watches. It protects. It remembers. But if the house is abandoned, the domovyk changes. It becomes hungry. That night, it spoke clearly. Not knocking. Not whispering. Speaking. "You left. I waited. You forgot." The voice sounded like layers of people talking through each other. Men. Women. Children. All familiar. All almost mine. I covered my ears. The voice came from inside my skull. "You were born here." That was impossible. I was born in the city. Wasn't I? I searched the house for proof. In a drawer beneath the stove, I found old photographs. Black and white. The village. The forest. The house. And one more. A newborn baby wrapped in a blanket. In my grandmother's arms. The back of the photo read, "Winter. He returned. Returned. Not born. Returned." The next evening, I followed the barefoot prints into the forest. They led to a clearing. In the center stood an old oak tree split by lightning. Inside the hollow trunk were carved names. Generations of them. And at the bottom, mine. Carved long ago. The bark around it was fresh, as if it had just been touched. A voice behind me whispered, "You never left." When I ran back to the house, the door was wide open. Inside, the front room was different. No bed, no wardrobe, just walls covered in handprints. Small, large, old, new, and in the center, a mirror, this time uncovered. My reflection wasn't there. Instead, I saw the house, through its eyes, watching me, from the inside. Memories began to crack. The city felt blurry. My apartment, my job, my life, like stories someone told me. The village felt real. The house felt alive. And then I understood. The domovyk doesn't guard the house. The house guards the domovyk. And when one grows too old, it calls the next. The snow never melted. Days passed. Or maybe minutes. Time doesn't move correctly here. Sometimes I stand by the window and watch the road. Sometimes someone drives past. They look at the sign. They hesitate. Sometimes they turn around. Sometimes they don't. If they don't, I knock softly from the front room. 3 times. And I wait. Because I remember now. I have always been here. And the house must never be empty.